the way Somali men obsess over Somali women. Is it protecting the Somali woman, or is it obsession? That's what I want to talk about today. I got this video yesterday about this young girl named Ramla and her ex-husband, Prince Ali. He talked about the relationship between him and Ramla. They're dating prior to the marriage, obviously, and then after the marriage, and how things just went berserk, and how they broke up, and how she treated him and mistreated him, rather, all that stuff. Obviously, the little prince seems to be a little narcissist who, I mean, it was a long story, but anyway, it took me a couple of days to listen. But anyway, I know a lot of Somali brothers got mad as usual. So many Somali men invited the brother, young Ali, Prince, and obviously only wanted to hear his side of the story, and took the Somali girl to task, and Somali women in general, because they're jealous that how dare she? Her relationship was haram. You know, this is what Somali women do. Why do they only get mad when Somali women get together with other men who are non-Somalis? But they never seem to protect Somali women from Somali men who are raping them, killing them, mistreating them, abandoning them, dishonoring them, destroying their country so they are scattered all over the world, because most of the vulnerable people happen to be women and children. This tribalism, I'm so sick of it. I am so sick of it. It's an obsession. To me, it's an obsession. It's a narcissism. It's not about caring about the Somali woman and what she cares about. And as far as I'm concerned, these men who are opening these rooms on Clubhouse and many other places in social media, verbally abusing Somali women, it's not because they care. If they care about Somali women, the Somali woman wouldn't be looking for love elsewhere. It's not like they do Somali women a favor. It's not like Somali man would say, oh, I just want to marry you because you're my sister. I want to preserve your virginity and your honor. I don't want to date you. The first thing I want to do is meet your family and ask for your hand because I want to protect your honor. I want to make sure that I only get together with you in a way that honors you and your family, because I'm a good Muslim man. I'm a good brother. I care about your honor. Give me a freaking break. So no wonder Somali women are sneaking around, finding other men, because they're human beings. Girls will date, and they rather not be the talk of the town.
This is the problem. Lack of accountability, and babying them and fighting for them has not get them anywhere. They have been resting their nest for a long time. It's time for them to accept accountability and take responsibility for their action. And there's an opinion, Somalia, you need to understand the difference between abuse. Abuse is when somebody is physically and mentally harming you. Habo is not mentally or physically harming you. She is telling you facts that is happening in the community. And this is completely embarrassing for you to contradict yourself. You have put yourself in that position. If you want us to say nice things and a lot of praises, you need to earn. Nobody's going to get anything for doing nothing, basically. And facts does not care about your feelings. Facts does not care about your feelings.
They never take responsibility for anything. I am tired of babying Somali men. You know what? When you become men, when they become men, and I'm not saying this about all Somali men, there are some amazing Somali brothers. When a Somali brother is a good man, he's better than most men.
You know why they are trying to censor you? It's because they think of Somali you talking, other community cannot understand. But now you're talking in English, other community are gonna come in onto this chat, and it's gonna, the dirty secret is coming out. We need to transparent.
Exactly. You know, this is a global village. You cannot just be upset when Somali women marry outside of their culture because you somehow feel neglected, or you take it to sort of like as if she dumped you, or if she refused your hand in marriage. There are plenty of Somali women.
Why are Somali men so harsh on Somali women when they do not marry within?
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to their insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
They're very insecure. Somali men are insecure because the Somali woman is very powerful when she decides what she wants. And that scares them. Does that make sense?
Yes,
It
absolutely.
scares.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
what I truly feel that that's the case.
Yeah, because Somali woman in nature, she's free in spirit. What shackles her is the cultural boundaries and the obstacles that are placed upon her by cultural duty. That's what shackles the Somali woman. But in spirit, the Somali woman is very free. She's very strong. She's resilient. Yes. So when the Somali woman is powerful and she's free, it's scary to them. It's how dare she make her own decision? How dare she not ask me for permission? How dare she is out there flourishing without my permission? How? Because
Exactly.
I want to be the one to control her narrative, not some other guy. Who is he? I want to be able to say she's my some sort of a property to be owned.
Yes, a commodity of
A
some sort.
commodity, because
Yeah.
that's what we do when we go to wars. We say, "Oh, let's stop the war. Here, I'll give you 5 of my daughters. You give me 5 of your daughters." It's things to be exchanged. The Somali woman, to a certain extent, culturally, is an object to be exchanged.
Mm-hmm.
She's to be
Indeed,
changed
Havaria.
for peace. I'll give you my prayers. Here, take my daughter. Let me add more on to you. Let me give you my daughter. Let me marry your daughter so that we can be in peace. That's what it is. She is an object to be traded.
Yes. Even in the 20th first century, Somali women are
Unfortunately.
still considered a commodity. I was talking to a couple of different ladies who are trying to divorce their husbands right now. And
Yeah.
some of them have been going around to different masjids asking for divorce, and the imams would just tell them, "Oh, let me get back to you after talking to your husband," and they would basically just disappeared in action and never get back to them. And then when they decide to go to other masjids asking for help, Somali men from the local masjids actually would go to these masjids and tell these other imams, "Do not divorce our women. You stick with your community, we will stick with our community." So now even other masjids, imams in other masjids, are not helping Somali women to get divorced. They basically just want to hold Somali women hostage. No, I don't know any woman who just wants to walk away
Factual.
from her,
Fact.
even
Yes.
in the most mediocre marriage. By the time she files for divorce, it's because he basically abandoned and
100%.
neglected the marriage and the family.
100%. 100%. In Somali, there's that saying, "Nafol bameshi urombe rada."
Exactly.
Right? So if you're like you said, if you're not good to me, there's nothing. If you're not providing for me, if you're not protecting me, then there's nothing for me to be there for. I'm already drained by the time divorce comes about. I'm done. I'm over it. It's done. Let's move on. Let's be cordial. But Somali men drag this. They leave them without giving them their dalaka. They don't give them their meher. None of that happens.
Oh, meher is
None
it's
of
basically non-existent, really.
none of
I
that.
mean,
None of that happens.
which Habarir makes me wonder, like,
Mm,
how solid are these marriages anyway? Because really, I feel like there is something seriously wrong with our marriages in the first place,
mm-hmm.
and there is something seriously wrong the way we get divorced as
Yes.
well. So there's a lot of haram, I feel like, in the mix.
There's
You know,
there's a lot of the rulings that are obligations that the man owes to the woman and vice versa that are never enforced. And there's no consequences if the man just decides to leave his woman. He suffers nothing at all. Nothing at all. He can get married tomorrow with a new wife and he'll be that guy without anything. No one is going to call him grop. No one is going to call him whatever the names are. He's not
yeah,
a single father. He's just another man. He's just another Umar. He's just another father. Faarax,
yeah.
you know. So sadly, why do Somali men have this narrative where they think they can disrespect Somali women? It's because they get away with it because no one
Yeah.
checks them. No one checks them. I tell you what, if someone ever disrespected you as their hypothetically that you were married and your husband disrespected you and your brothers came and checked him, he would have second thoughts before he did that. I think what we are is we are a society that is desensitized by all the bad things. We feel nothing. You know, when you see those images of kids that are hungry in Africa and they keep advertising, the first time you may feel something, the second time you may. I think we're people that have been so traumatized by so many things that are going wrong in our society that it's hard for us to differentiate what we actually feel anymore. We are desensitized.
Compassion fatigue.
Yes, and empathy.
Yeah.
We have no empathy. We're jaded. We're jaded. We're a
Completely.
bunch of people that are jaded. We're zombies. And I want to blame this on the Somali men that have ruined our country first, that have ruined the family's structure, that do not follow the religion teaching. It's the Somali men because they're supposed to lead the country and they're supposed to lead the society. It's not on us to fix
I
anything.
always come back to that, Habarir, because there are a lot of Somalis who would say, well, we are the mothers of these boys. And so we have to be held accountable as well because, we didn't do a good job raising them. And we never really treated the Somali boy and the Somali girl the same either. But I always come back to the fact that we are a Muslim society. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed the man specifically
Yes.
that you are the leader of the family.
Yeah.
الرجال قوامون على النساء. It's easy for them to use that
Yeah.
when they really want their rights or when they want to feel powerful, but they're never willing to walk the walk.
Yeah.
And when it comes to them being responsible for their actions or for their families, it's a one-way street.
And you cannot blame the Somali woman. She is coming from a lineage of abuse from the man. And that is what she's reflecting off. You cannot blame her because the leader is corrupted. So you don't know she's corrupted by standards. Because Ninki Hagaye Mabachogabate.
Yeah. What's truly maddening is the fact that, they won't lead, but then they won't share power. Okay,
It's complicated.
What is this? We are conditioning ourselves into a life of misery
100%.
and destruction and
100%.
death and
100%.
mayhem. Really.
I'm a firm believer in the teacher cannot be the student and the student cannot be the teacher.
Exactly.
Everyone has a role to play in life. We know how the honeybees come about. We know the queen. There's a structure even in nature, let alone human beings.
Exactly.
There's structure. So our home, there is no base for our home. Thus why it's easy for it to break because there's really nothing substantial holding it together. There really isn't. There's not. I think we need to deeply reflect upon what society we want. What do we see as the future? What can we do to improve this? Because we are a broken system. It's a broken society. And honest to God, it comes from the man. I'll have to be very honest. Unless they straighten up, I don't think we're ever going to straighten up. I think it's going to be overburdened Somali woman that's going to try to carry over things that she cannot do by herself.
Exactly. Women don't know how to raise men. The best we can do is feed them and even cater to most of their needs. But
Yeah.
a man needs a man
Yeah.
to lead him.
I want to say that if your house is burning today, your neighbor's house is going to be affected. Whether the
A
fire
matter
will
of time.
reach, yes.
Mhm.
Whether it's the dust or the listen. There's no way that you can escape that. So all these men, the Halia likes that are talking and being disrespectful, they're gonna raise children who are gonna marry women that have been scorned.
Mhm.
So their
Exactly.
children are going to suffer the consequences sooner or later. Because guess what? These girls and boys that your children are going to marry tomorrow have trauma. A lot and
Indeed.
lots of trauma. You can't escape from it. You can't. You're
But
part of the
but
problem.
but here's the thing. I mean, everybody talks about me because I address these issues, these
Hmm.
very important, vital issues, and I've been
Mm.
talking about it for a while now.
Yeah.
And so most Somali men despise me, and even some many Goyans. At
Oh,
the same time, have you seen anyone talking about Halia negatively? And what does
no.
Halia do? Because Halia
No.
basically says, keep dismantling the family,
Yeah.
keep destroying and walking away from your family and children.
Yeah.
Demean woman, dishonor and disrespect woman, just basically continue. He never really brought any new idea or thought forward.
No.
He
It's the red.
basically just tells them to just stay the course.
Because remember, you're an easy target because you
Mhm.
are simply a she.
Indeed.
That's it. That there's nothing else. So I'm to the point where if I were to advise a Somali woman, I would tell her to take care of herself first. Wallah al-Adim, if you want to flourish in life, take care of yourself. You don't need a man to be happy, and that's factual. You don't.
Absolutely.
You don't. And you don't need to procreate with everyone because not everyone deserves a child with you.
I
No.
mean, and if you need a man, if you need obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us in Paris and we
Absolutely.
need each other and we want each other, obviously. However, if you tie your happiness to someone else, you will never be happy. You have to
100%.
find yourself first, and you have to
100%.
get your ducks back in order. You have to become educated and make sure that you can earn your own money, and that so you don't need to be beholden to anybody
Mm-hmm.
except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But and this is what's happening with these red pill men now. When you really listen closely, it's as if they're describing a servant, not a
Mm-hmm.
wife. I was
Mm-hmm.
I talked about this earlier, but there was this Somali woman I've been seeing on YouTube on
Yeah.
different podcasts, and the titles were like, "Is this the perfect woman?" And I'm thinking she must have said, "I have to make time for her," because I'm thinking she had said something earth
Profound.
shattering,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, I want to sit down for this new concept,
For
new
sure.
idea, new enlightenment. And you know what she was talking about?
Hmm.
She was describing the typical Somali woman. Oh yeah, I got married, and in the beginning I was working, and then I got married, and I stayed home to take care of my baby. And okay, then what did you do? Oh, I basically made sure I kept the house up, and I cooked and cleaned, and made sure his food was ready and on the table. And by the time he comes, I give him his space, and he does his thing. And then if he needs me to lean forward and to touch him, I would. And if he wants, a space, I'd give him this. I'm like, but that's what we do. And I was just doing everything. And I'm like, but that's what we do. I'm like, I was waiting for the aha
Something for
moment.
yeah,
I'm like,
something
what? Okay.
extraordinary.
And it
Yeah.
never came. It never
Yeah.
came. I'm like, that's what we do. Somali women, in fact, we are,
Overachievers.
I mean, overachievers. We do
Yeah.
we do everything,
Yeah.
and that's what red pill men want. These are men who cannot pay the rent by themselves. They want everything 50-50, or maybe they can't even afford their 50. Yet they want a submissive woman. Hello? How does that
Here,
even add up? It doesn't
and
even
I
add
and I
up.
think and I think this is very important for us to teach our daughters their worth. You're worthy of everything that's good in this world.
Exactly.
You're worthy of a man who will provide for you. You are worthy of everything that is good in this world. We need to tell our young sisters and our sisters, and even the ones that are married right now, that they are
Exactly.
good enough for everything that is good. Because I think there's so much like the Somali woman has to bear and deal with and take and take and take. No, you don't have to take and take and take. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of wealth. You are worthy of security, stability in your life, in your health, in your iman. You are worthy of everything that is good. Laguma aburin inad gubato adunyadan. Yeah, I think it's called dignified living. You want to be dignified. You want. Why would you want to suffer? We're told to suffer. We're told to put up. We're told to hold on. Sabir, sabir.
Exactly.
Have patience.
iyaga lama yidhaahdo samir weligood lama yidhaahdo samir